What's up, everybody? Just got done playing around at disc golf. Still soaked from the gym. Jeez Louise. I don't know what the hell's going on. I got my Vibram 5 fingers on. Let me tell you, these things are amazing. I've been using these Vibram 5 fingers for about 15 years now. I recently just got this pair and another pair. The other ones I had, they lasted 15 years. 15 years. I wore them everywhere, to the gym, to hiking, using them as water shoes. Things were amazing. But yeah, so perfect example right here of what I was talking about with these stupid fucking boomer laws. These absolute pieces of shit, weak, scared people. Weapon and drug free zone, no hunting, no unauthorized vehicles, public welcome. Dawn to dusk, non-school hours, and there's a pesticide notice right there. I mean, how bullshit is that? All out back, this is all public property back here. This is all public property. It's got no reason why people can't come out here and enjoy themselves at whatever time, as long as they're not gonna burn down the fucking forest. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I feel so bad for kids now, because when I was young, out back here, we'd be coming here, all hours of night and just hanging out, have a little campfire or something, just chill, walk around, be a bunch of idiots. But you can't do that anymore. Everything is tracked and recorded and logged. It's unbelievable. They got signs up all down here saying, oh, you're under 24-hour surveillance. Like a bunch of fucking paranoid Big Brother fucking pieces of shit. I don't know what else to call them. Just the fact that a place like this is so controlled and so monitored and so full of rules and laws. The fact that that exists is just, that's a microcosm of the macrocosm of laws and regulations and ordinances and all of these things that can get you in quote unquote trouble, right? Trouble with the law. It's insane. There's a sign coming up here for the surveillance. But yeah, I wanted to talk about a couple things I forgot to mention in my last video. No one watches my videos. I've known about this ever since I made my channel. No one really, there's only maybe 3 videos I put out where people have actually watched more than 2 minutes of it. Everything else is just no one watches and makes it through. So I don't know. This is more or less, this is therapy for me, just talking and posting it and whatever. It's nice looking back on my channel and seeing it's kind of like a little diary. Better diary than some shit on Facebook or whatever, just posting pictures of food and random bullshit. Bunch of self-absorbed fucking stupid nonsense. But yeah, so I forgot to mention a couple things about the residential counselor job I had for about a year. There's 2 things. One is the grooming. The grooming is real. Those places, they'll deny that they groom kids, but the definitions that they go by are not what you think they are. Grooming to them is like some type of, I don't even know how they see grooming, because to me, grooming is grooming. You're teaching, and swaying and directing kids in a certain direction, right? Grooming them for some type of entrapment or self-sabotaging in the future. And these places that house kids are doing it 100%. I'm not going to say all of them, but the one I worked at definitely did, and these were 12 to 18-year-old girls. Absolutely 100% did. And if, the part of country that I'm in, it's not the most, liberal type of place, even though New Hampshire is a blue state. It's, there's a good amount of, conservatives here, but it doesn't really matter what wing of the bird you're on. It's all the same bullshit. And there's plenty of people out here that are trans. They're very, very big on it out here. New England in general is just huge on it. And if one of the more conservative parts of the country is like this in my own little microcosm, then I can only imagine the amount of facilities out there that are outright full-on grooming kids that have absolutely no oversight. And just remember, the government promotes this. The government actually promotes these things. You think that they don't, but they do. Yeah, see, look at this right here. Notice this area is under 24-hour surveillance. Ooh! Notice, what is that? Fucking keep off ropes course to be used by authorized personnel only. I mean, do you think that's really going to stop someone if they want to use these little swings? And it's not like they got some kind of trampoline type of trapeze thing up in the fucking trees. It's little rope swings on the ground. You know what I'm saying? It's a little obstacle course. You think that's really going to stop somebody? So fucking retarded. And even with the whole, it's for the town's protection, then just hold the people accountable for their stupidity, if someone fucks up, then oh well, but obviously there's no accountability in the world. It's that shit doesn't happen, especially for the 1%, the powers that be type of deal. But yeah, so they groom kids. One of the things that they do is during that faggot month in June, I think it's June, when they celebrate mental disorders and sexual deviancy, they make the girls do programming. And thankfully, I did not work during June at this place. I am so thankful for that, because I would have had a conniption. And the programming, mind you, all my coworkers, all of them, except for maybe one, but all of them though, even that one, were all pro-trans. They all pushed it. They all had stickers and tattoos and fucking piercings, men wearing dresses and fucking, half the coworkers went by they, thems, or the opposite of whatever their actual physical body dictated. They went by the opposite, right? That shit is such a fucking mind fuck, having to deal with that. It really is. It's unbelievable. It really fucks with your brain. It's all witchcraft, right? So it's all sorcery. But so one of the things that they'll do is during that faggot month in June, they make the kids do programming, and we all know and love that word, programming. They program these kids to do arts and crafts about trans, pro-trans, mental disorder, pro-sexual deviancy, pro-sex organ, mutilation. And then they put them in these little classrooms the giant TV in it, and they'll watch these fucking degenerate, deviant pride parades with a bunch of kinky men wearing dominatrix, their genitals just hanging out. Sexual liberation, right? Walking down the roads, all these fucking drag queens and shit. Trannies, disgusting people. And they make these little girls watch it. They even, at public school, they actually have drag queens come in and entertain the kids and read to them and all this shit. Like, they still do this. Like, it's a thing. Like, you think it's dying down, but it isn't. So, I had it was like 3 or 4 of the girls tell me personally about what they did during this month. And my coworkers told me about it too. And they told me, the girls were telling me like that they didn't like it. You know, not all the girls. There's only 3 or 4 of them. The ones that, you know, I probably would say I favored the most. Even though you're not supposed to have favorites, but I mean, let's face it, it's just human, you know, being a human. You're going to have your favorites. And they told me that they were disturbed by the stuff that they were forced to do, because they are forced to do it. If they don't, then they get in trouble and counseled and written up and all that shit. And it's fucking sad. They're forced to do this. And it's brainwashing. It's grooming. And they groom them. At school, in these residential housing that they have for displaced girls and boys. Maybe not as bad for the boys, but they do it. And so just imagine that, right? And then you throw on top of that the, you know, food. They're on sugar highs all the time. Eating shit cafeteria food all day, just starch heavy, carb heavy, sugar heavy, very little nutrition, right? And then the big second thing I wanted to bring up is the meds. These girls were medicated out of their fucking minds. A few of the girls they were on lithium, right? The dosage of lithium that I came to find out was so huge and overprescribed that the dosages were something that would match a 500-pound man. And a little, you know, I think these girls were more of like 15, 16-year-olds. On lithium, okay? Dealing with these kids after they take their meds is one of the most bizarre things I've ever had to deal with. It's like being around an alien. They don't act like coherently or anything like that. They're just wild, dissociated, you know, just not themselves, it's fucking bizarre. And it goes up and down constantly, like their moods, their ability to be cognitive and conscious with you. It's fucking bizarre, man. Sometimes they'll just stand there and stare for sometimes an hour. Just stand in frozen spot, just staring off into nothing. No facial movements, nothing. Imagine being drugged up like that as a young girl. And they're already having a tough time as is with hormonal fluctuations, being on a terrible diet, severe lack of exercise and health and wellness. You know, having barely any education, barely, and I'm talking about real education, being able to think and process the environment, situational awareness. They got none, basically. I was lucky enough to, you know, basically just, you know, shove it into them very as much as I could, as fast as I could. Oh, what's up, dude? Just getting some sun, bud. That's a pretty frog. This is like a big tree frog. But give them as much nutrition advice, actual critical thinking skills, things that are very, very important to any young person. What does that do with the dirt bike? And yeah, so I'm very proud of myself for being able to educate those girls for the time I had with them. And I could tell, it's so obvious once you see something click in someone. It's an incredible thing. It's an incredible feeling. And it's a privilege to be able to do that. I was very scared for them when I was there. I was very scared for them being there with my coworkers. And I just had to make sure that my time with them was as valuable as possible, and that they got as much as they could out of me. Oh, it's someone's flying an RC plane over there. That's cool. Sounds like some serious farting going on. This is a little high-powered airplane, RC plane. But yeah, so on the topic of meds is the commonality of psychiatrics in today's society, in particular the first world, obviously, and mostly in the United States. The amount of psychiatrics people are on is obscene. And, if you go to the grocery store, there's a very likely chance that over 50% of the people in there are on some type of psychiatric. Whether it be mood stabilizers, antidepressants, SSRIs, whatever, some type of Adderall, Ritalin, something. Over 50% easily. And for a lot of people, you can just see it. Today's society is so full of illness and sickness and disease and of all sorts, of physical and mental. And no one's ever taught how to cope with those things. Never taught how to deal with it or whatever. Everybody's just hopped up on drugs. You got caffeine, right? You got the socially accepted drugs. Caffeine, alcohol, pot. And that pot that's going around now is nothing like what I experienced growing up. It is like industrial medical grade shit that it just fries your brain, man. It is so bad. And I'm well acquainted with it, and it's not good for you. I'm telling you right now, it is not good for you. What else? So you got caffeine, and you got sugar, obviously, right? People love their sugar. Sugar is a drug. It is a non-essential nutrient. It is completely unnecessary to the human body. It is a drug. That's why when you're younger, you get a sugar high. And then, you got later on in life, you see these people, these old people, always having candy on them, maintaining that addiction. You need more of it to get the same feeling, right? Sugar's a drug. So, yeah. People just draining all their B vitamins, especially with the caffeine involved with it. Just straight up drains. This is why women are so open to thyroid diseases, is because of the caffeine and the sugar. It drains their thyroids of all their metabolism, metabolic vitamins and minerals, in particular B vitamins. And eventually they develop some type of autoimmune disorder, either Graves or Hashimoto's, either hyper or hypo, and thyroidism. So, yeah, it's fucking sad. And I mean, I'm so glad I wore sweatpants and my hoodie out here. It's a little warm, but I'd be getting eaten alive right now if I was not wearing these things. Just gonna put my water in my disc down there for walking out here. They had a controlled burn. Oh yeah, nicotine is another one. Nicotine's one of the ones that I am definitely. I've had nicotine since I was a teenager. I've quit for up to like 5 years at some points, but it's just something. I'm looking to quit pretty soon. Nicotine's just it's not good for you. Yeah, so that's the one that I'm pretty hard on right now. Don't drink, don't smoke. I got this clean vape, which is a very low percentage of nicotine. It doesn't have any flavoring or sweetener in it. It's just it just has menthol in it, a little bit of nicotine, and it's just kind of a thing for me to do. But it won't be long before I quit. See all this? They all burnt all this shit up. But yeah, so the people are all medicated. They're all medicated, numb, full of fucking psychiatric drugs. I remember when I grew up, there were kids, my friends because when I was younger, I'm 40 now, and there were kids that I grew up with. This is, during the big ADD, ADHD craze, where everybody and their fucking mother were getting diagnosed with ADD and ADHD, and they were just throwing out Ritalin and Adderall everywhere, just boom, boom, boom. You want it? Here you go. And those are legal. It's legalized meth. It's a legalized amphetamine, and it's a very powerful addictive drug, just like the pain pills that are out there now. Very addictive. And I mean, when you get a legalized meth, what do you think is going to happen? I've lost, I think, about 5 friends in my lifetime due to overdosing, ODing, through some form of addiction that led to, some type of mental problems and depressive states and all this stuff, all through their addiction from Ritalin and Adderall. I lost, and I want to say, 2 of them, 1 or 2 of them, were good men. When I knew them growing up, these were guys that when I saw them in the future, they would be amazing leaders, be good for their society and their environment, and they just got wrecked by their fucking medications. Or and some of them, they weren't even prescribed it. They were just given it to, had, some other friends that gave them the pills, and they got addicted to it. And it's sad. I miss one of them. This is going to get hard for me. I'm going to start bawling my eyes out here because I'm really going to miss one of them. He used to be my gym bro in high school. We were gym bros. He was a power lifter and a half. He had the genetics for just lifting the biggest freaking weights over and over and over again. Huge guy. And I loved him. He was a great man. Great young man. And he just later, he was clean up until his 20s, and then in his 20s is when he got all the pills and shit. And that's how that happened. And he ended up overdosing on I think it's like Percocets or something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't even know what a lot of these things are called. I don't even know what a lot of these drugs are, but yeah, so that was very, when I found out, because none of these, I don't have any more friends from when I was a child, and I don't want to be friends with them myself, because I'm not okay with the way that they've treated me, and with the way that they treat each other and the way they treat themselves. You know, and I met up with one of my friends that knew, he was the one that started giving him the pills, because we were all friends growing up. And when I met up with him after, because I haven't seen these people for decades, right? I was in the military and I lived all over the country and doing whatever. I met up with him maybe three years ago, and I was so uncontrollably angry with him for getting my friend addicted to fucking pills. Oh, this is gonna get tough. I am a much larger man than this kid is. I don't even want to call him a man. And I wanted to hurt him so badly for getting one of my good friends killed. It is not okay being into this type of shit. Psychiatrics, antidepressants, all these pharmaceuticals are not okay. These companies are evil. They're not meant to heal or cure you of anything. They're only meant to numb you, to reduce your ability to cope with real life, to put a filthy bandage over your wound that will only cause further infection. And it's fucking sad, the state that the world we're living in is. This world is evil. It is evil. What people think is good and evil, or good and bad, and all this shit, you can just kill a good person. Or a good person can just kill themselves, right? And the evil people live on. Because evil people do evil things, right? And they keep propagating and propagating and propagating forever. Good people don't last here. You have to blend in with the sickness. I'm not even gonna, because I'm on the borderline of even thinking that good and evil exists, because the English language sucks. It does suck. And I see it as more of a sickness. There's something sick about this world that will never go away. It is inherent to its creation. Inherent. And I don't know what happens after we're done here. I lean towards nothing. I'm not into religions anymore or any of this type of shit. Who knows what happens? But I don't think shit happens, because I mean, what are you gonna? How do you turn into? You gonna turn into something else? Like what? I don't think there is. So this place is just inherently evil. What people think are good is completely misplaced. The reason why people do what they do is to just survive. The reason why people need a husband or a wife and children is to continue their lives in an easier manner, to have children to help you when you get older, okay? It's not like some kind of God-given bullshit mythological thing of have children, they're a spirit and a soul and all. Like, it's not like that. Because we're placing our biases based off of this Christian mythology that everything is just based on now, onto something that, it doesn't warrant it at all. Correlation without causation. There's a reason why people had so many kids when they were, subsistence farmers. Like, how many kids died back then? I mean, like, the life expectancy back, over 100 years ago was like in the mid 30s, right? And the only reason it's that low is because of the amount of children that died at extremely young ages, right? It's not because people didn't live to 60, 70, 80 years old. That's not why. Plenty of people live to be very old. But children died constantly. That's why it's so skewed. Okay? People now are so full of themselves, and they place on so many of these weird-ass biases and prejudices and dispositions and all this shit to things that don't have any of those attributes at all. It's bizarre. There's no critical thinking behind it, no reason or logic, so people have to view reality for what it is, without all this shit mythology and these fucking pseudo-intellectual things as jargon thrown onto it for whatever reason. It doesn't make any sense. So, I gotta move on to another topic here. Like this recent shooting, right? That happened, I don't know, was it Michigan or Minnesota, whatever it is. The kid was trans and all this shit. Like, this is dealing with kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the girls I work with. And, there's a reason why so many of the recent shooters are trans, is because if you can get someone to think that they're something they're not, then, come on, you can convince them of anything. You can brainwash. It's so easy to manipulate, brainwash, indoctrinate those types of minds. Come on. They've made mental disorders, they've normalized it, right? So, people are fucking stupid, man. Obviously, they're gonna be fucking trans and all this shit, or some radical or whatever. They're all psyops and false flags. These are all, brainwashed people that have, been programmed to do whatever. And then you have absolute, bullshit things like the Trump assassination was a complete hoax, a complete fucking hoax, both of them. Like, come on here. No matter how little of a nick you got from a 223 in whatever part of your body, when you're dealing with an 18-inch barrel, like if you've never seen a 223 before, it's a very small bullet, but the casing is huge in comparison. When you have a 18 plus inch barrel, the muzzle velocity that's coming out of that is extraordinarily powerful. There's a reason why that it's a standardized military round. And the amount of kinetic energy that gets transferred into even the slightest touch is so insane that people think that, it was just a small nick and it healed within like a week and a half completely. I mean, and on top of that, being on the ear, like it's so hard to heal an ear injury. It's very weak cartilage and very weak flesh. And the amount of blood flow and access that your body has in the ears to repair itself there is way diminished compared to, other parts of the body. I mean, give me a fucking break. I mean, it's all of TV, all of politics is just kayfabe. Kayfabe, wrestling, heel versus babyface type of entertainment. We're being lied to all the time. And, recently they're coming out with more stuff that, people are figuring out with the Epstein files, right? Ooh, the Epstein files and the fucking, Musk is talking about the moon landing hoax now, right? This is all old news. And all these things do is just to kind of like legitimize them, right? It's only just these little sprinklings of truth that they'll throw out there. I'm just waiting for one of them to say, oh, hey, guess what? You live on a plain Earth. You don't, everything is, the oceans are flat. There is no such thing as outer space, a vacuum of space. Obviously, because you can't have a vacuum next to a pressurized system without any type of barrier. I mean, the people are retarded. Like, the people are retarded. Like I said, this is a sick place. This is a very sick place that we're in. So, they like to throw out these little breadcrumbs and then they just gaslight you, and you got the Operation Warp Speed with the COVID vax that Trump's always talking about is a good thing, and constantly gaslighting you, and then maybe all they do is just this is all old news. All these things are old, and then decades later, years and years later, they'll be like, oh, maybe it wasn't that great of a thing, but there won't be anything to come out of it. It's just distractions. It's a conversation piece. No answers. There'll never be any answers. There'll never be any accountability ever. And all the accountability that you'll see, it's all a fraud. Like, do you think that Epstein was really killed himself? Like, do you really think that? He's not dead. He's having a great life. You think Ghislaine Maxwell is actually in prison, right? You think if, people start getting prosecuted for the COVID hoax, you think that they're really going to get prosecuted and face justice? No, they won't. It's all a play. The world is a stage. All of the world is a stage. Everything that we see on the internet in common society is just a play. People themselves, just the common people, are just these mannequins filled up with false beliefs, half-truths, outright lies. They're just husks, not actualized people. And they've had, I mean, people, they have I'm not special by any means. I'm not special in any stretch of the imagination. They have the same access to information that I've had my entire life. But for some reason, people choose their willful ignorance. They choose to believe what's on the TV. They choose all these things. With that law from dawn till dusk. You can't, you can't be here from dusk till dawn, right? People beg for their safety. They beg. They want to be weak and slavish. They want to be herded by a wolf. They want to be herded. What's that quote by, was it Jefferson or Franklin, saying, the people who decry for safety deserve neither liberty nor freedom? I mean, that's the truth. Look at 9/11, right, with the Patriot Act and all these security measures that have gone throughout the country since then. Look at COVID and people just begging to get the vaccine and lining up by, hundreds and hundreds of people in lines to get the COVID shot. People beg for safety because they are weak, scared, stupid, retarded people. This place is sick. This world is a sick place. Who knows how long this place has actually existed for, and all the different civilizations that have come and gone with all these different ideologies and beliefs. Who knows if the way that people act is through genetics, passed on traits and shit like that. Who knows what's actually going on here, how we got here and all this. It sure as shit ain't the Big Bang. It sure as shit ain't the fucking heliocentric fucking gravity model, which is just easily debunked, and it's a cult. Who knows how all this came about, right? But inherently, it is an evil place. I don't know all the answers. I don't know even a fraction of what is real truth or anything like that. I don't have the answers for everything. No one does. No one here does. And people just need to cope with that. If they can't, then they're going to get hopped up on meds, try to cope with beliefs and superstitions and mythologies, stories and lies, and just a bunch of nonsense, fill themselves up with all sorts of chemicals and shit, and fill that hole with whatever it is that they can think of and whatever is available, instead of facing the hard truth. They want their safety. They're self-absorbed. People are now extremely self-absorbed. Everything is about, it's the me generation, right? Isn't that what they call it? Oh God, I'm sitting down. It's the me generation, right? But all these me's, they're gonna die. We all die. Everyone dies. So we got the, people want this, the problem, reaction, solution. If you want to be a prophet and know what's going to happen in the future, all you have to do is just listen to what the powers that be are telling you. They've been talking about this pre-crime, digital ID, digital tracing, biometric IDs for a long time. A long time. They tell you that they're going to do it. And I've been warning people ever since that, whenever they say it. I'm like, hey, listen, they're going to do this, No, they're not. Oh, whatever. Like, they literally say it. So, the pre-crime thing, that's coming out. The shooting was clearly, that recent shooting was clearly a hoax. See all the anti-gun people coming out. And then you even got pro-gun people that are like, we gotta put restrictions on purchasing firearms for people if they're, trannies or whatever, shit like that. Like, you see how it's that totalitarian tiptoe? It's the problem, reaction, solution. Little steps at a time to just nudge people. They made this whole trans thing a fad. They made the whole culture. They made that. It's a mental disorder. It was considered gay. Just being gay was considered a mental disorder up until the 1970s. And then they removed it from the DCM or whatever that is called, from the book of for mental disorders. They removed that, and then it was just a slippery slope until we got here. They know what happens when you make sick degenerates normalized. It's obvious, right? Like, you can see. I knew it was coming as soon as they legalized gay marriage. I was like, oh, here it comes. So, I mean, all this stuff is coming. It's all going to happen, whether or not because the thing is, whether or not whatever our view is of a totalitarian state is, I think we're already in it right now. Like, it's only just how much more are they going to keep taking and taking. It's only just a matter of time. And whatever this totalitarian finalized state is, it's not going to be in my lifetime. But like I said, I think it's already here. It's been here for a long time. Just look at the taxes that we got to pay. All right? Look at the amount of laws. You can't even be out here. You can't even walk around in public land after 8 p.m. Like, what? It's already here. It's always been here. So they're just slowly taking more and more. Like, they want everyone to be on where RFK says, like, oh, I want everyone to have a wearable, which is like a Fitbit type of fucking thing that tells you, like, your heart rate, steps and all this type of shit. Like, how inaccurate those things are. Like, I don't know if people understand how inaccurate. And not only that, but you can just go for a walk. You don't need something to count how many steps you took. Like, seriously, like, I did an hour of the Stairmaster today, and I didn't even look at how many steps it was. I just did an hour, and that was plenty. And I went for a walk out here. Like, why do you need to count it? Why do you need to look at a digital device that's emitting, light waves, it's electromagnetism into your body to detect your oxygen levels, your heart rate? Like, you can just feel your own pulse, right? Like, just count your pulse for 15 seconds and then multiply that by 4. It's not difficult. There's your BPM. The people are retarded. They want their safety. They want enslavement. They want it. They yearn for it. The 95% of the world's population wants this. Even these shill, counterintelligence, COINTELPRO, controlled opposition, fucking quote-unquote conspiracy theorist people, they want it. You see them wearing wearables. You see them promoting Trump. You see them promoting all these things, even if they change their mind later on. I mean, Alex Jones is the perfect example of a lifetime actor, a lifetime shill. The fact that people actually think that he is a legitimate source of truth is a fucking retard. Like I said, the people are retarded. Even people who think they know the truth are retarded. Anyone that promotes Jesus and this bullshit Abrahamic mythology is a fucking shill. All of them. Every single one. All of these truthers, quote unquote, these conspiracy theorists, the podcasters and shit, the Joe Rogans, the fucking conspiratainment people, the Bigfoot, all right? Oh, with fucking Bigfoot. Is that Bigfoot? Oh shit, dude, that's Bigfoot over there. Like, all of those are fucking conspiratainment shills. Was that one young kid that's like half Mexican that's on I always hear about him. It was like Nick, something like that. That dude's a fucking shill. He promoted Trump, right? When, apparently he was all about the truth and all this stuff, and and it was pretty, Trump is so obviously a fucking puppet. It's so obvious, but they still promote him. And then they say, oh no, I was wrong. It's the same thing about all this, was Operation Warp Speed? Maybe that was not as good as I thought it was. Like, it's years down the line when you have tons of people, and not even tons of people telling you that all this evidence of, dude, he's obviously a shill. Like, he's obviously a puppet. Telling you that, but just reality itself is so obviously a game show, a giant WWF fucking kayfabe heel versus babyface gaslighting smorgasbord. Any of these people that make money doing, hawking their supplements, their fucking dick pills, their pillows and all this shit, those people are fucking shills. It blows my mind it really does blow my mind how stupid people are. But all of those people and their followers want to be slaves. They want to be slaves. They're going to ask for more freedom and more liberty to be taken away. Because they're that stupid. It's such a fucking twisted world we live in. But anyways, I think I pretty much covered whatever I wanted to cover. Again, it's good to get that shit out. But anyways, do what you can. Get gold and silver. I'm not big on the crypto anymore. I have cryptos, but all that stuff's coming. All that digital ID, fucking CBDCs, that's all coming. It really does seem like they're trolling people to have an uprising. Like, I don't think it's with the whole ICE and National Guard getting deployed to all these places, like, that's not I don't think that's like it's obviously not as what people think it is. Like, Trump really isn't deporting that many people. They're just making a big show of it, right? They're making a big Obama had the nickname Deporter-in-Chief. He deported way more people than Trump is deporting. Trump really isn't doing what people think he's doing. Okay? They never are. So whatever, it's almost like they're calling for an uprising of people. So perhaps they can, identify and trace them or do whatever with them. It's just that tiptoe. They want these things. They make the problems. They allowed all these immigrants, the hyper-immigration, to happen. They allowed it to. That one Habib fucking Pajit motherfucker that killed 3 people in Florida, right? He entered the country in 2018 during Trump. And they caught him during Trump's administration. And he said he was scared to go back to India. So they let him stay here. That was during Trump. They make the problems. They make these problems. And then they create the solution. None of these people are your friend, my friend, none of our friends. They don't care. They're just puppets. They're sorcerers, magicians, and they know how to play the game. And people fall for it. So whatever's coming with that, these deployment of troops and all this shit, you know, it's not what people think it is. Who knows what's going to come of it? Whether they, you know, have like all these. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go on a tangent real quick with these like neo-Nazi people. All this like pro-Hitler shit that's going on. You know, this is how retarded people are. You know, Hitler, he's like a Trump. He's a great at the rhetoric. He's great at casting that spell with his speeches. Amazing. But if you listen to him, you know, he was just talking about Germany. But for some reason, he went on like this worldwide conquest to keep expanding and expanding, right? All he had to do, he was a National Socialist. All he had to do was just take care of Germany. But what'd he do? He didn't do that. He did something else. He was funded by the powers that be. He was funded by them. Yeah, those fucked up the Weimar Germany, that was a real thing. But again, they make the problem. And they create the solution. Okay? They know, the powers that be, they don't play their game based off of moment by moment. They play the game by decades and decades and hundreds of years in the future. Because they've been in control for that long. They don't play the game like what we do, where we're living paycheck by paycheck or bill by bill. They don't play like that. They don't care about money at all. They are the money. So all these, like, whatever all this shit is that's going on with the neo-Nazi shit, the, you know, the Jew stuff, it's all a part of the program. It's all a part of the plan. These people, the people are retarded. They think Hitler was a great dude. They really do. Even though he was fucking his cousin, you know, he was funded by the powers that be. I mean, you know, I question the Holocaust and all that stuff. But like I said, they make the problem and create the solution. Maybe all that stuff was just a part of the plan. Right? So, a little bit of a tangent there, but the people are retarded. They really are. And when they are so easily brainwashed into these things, their critical thinking skills go out the window. Generalizations, you know, this one group of people are evil. All this one group of people are evil, or this one ideology are evil. They're all brainwashed. Every single one. It doesn't matter. You're brainwashed. And I'm not saying you, but I'm saying those people that do those things. they themselves are brainwashed. But anyways, that's it for this one. I'll catch y'all later. So just do what you can. Save money, buy gold and silver, have stores of food, just do what you can. Do what you can. Enjoy life. Don't be an angry person. Put your energy into good things. Plan for the future. But don't be too dedicated to, losing yourself in that. Live now, because you never know how long we have in this life. So just do what you can. All right? Take it easy, everybody.